Thanks for joining us for the first YouTube AMA, and really excited to go over some of the questions we've seen out in the community from WeChat, Telegram, Twitter, and Reddit. For anybody who has questions and would like to ask one, while we're broadcasting, please add them into the YouTube comments, and we'll get to as many as we can. But thanks so much for joining us today. Just to get started, first question from Twitter user Ignacio Hagiopan. Blockchains may promise to eliminate trusted intermediary dependency, shifting trust to mathematics and perfect secure implementations. What would you say to a business that may want to use the technology but can't have the medium to evaluate the full technical design and implementation? I think that's a really good question in terms of sort of how we trust technology, and I think one of the things that we've really focused on at Algorand is the quality of our science, and also peer-reviewed, and making sure that people can understand, or even people who can't understand the technology deeply can rely on the fact that many people have looked at it and thought through the science behind what we're doing. And so I think definitely for any project you're looking at, I think the quality of the science and also looking at whether or not the information is peer-reviewed, I think is very important. And from kind of early days at Algorand, Silvio and the other scientists on our team have really focused on that as a priority. Next up from Twitter user Astronaut Asoy, can I use the Algorand mobile wallet in the auction? You are certainly able to use the Algorand mobile wallet as the place where tokens will be delivered if you're participating in the auction, but you will most likely not be able to place bids there. You can use a mobile browser to participate in the auction, but we suggest for anybody who's participating that they do so from a desktop computer, if at all possible. Next up from Twitter user Wolf of Normality, can I ask whether a listing proposal will be submitted to CoinMarketCap and is it fair to consider the foundation's 2.5 billion tokens in circulating supply? I think one of the things there, we believe that this is something that the market needs to draw their own conclusions on, and this is something specific to the foundation. For anybody who's interested in information on token dynamics, we would suggest that you go to algorand.foundation, and the team there has prepared quite a bit of information and charts on how tokens will be in circulation. So please make sure that you go there and review it if you haven't already. From Twitter user Kumar Gaurav, so if I have an algo in my wallet, will it be eligible for staking, or would I need to do something more technical to get there? So all users that hold algos are eligible for rewards, and there are two ways that you can earn rewards in the system. One is you can be online and staking, and so anybody running a node can keep their tokens online and participate in consensus. Separately, users that don't intend to be online can post a registration statement putting their tokens offline, in which case you're delegating to the protocol, and the protocol will vote on your behalf, and you will earn more rewards as well. And there'll be additional steps that are posted online so that everyone can make sure that they're doing that correctly. So from WeChat user in our China community, do algo holders need to delegate their algos to a staking pool in order to earn staking rewards? In Algorand, it works a little bit differently. There aren't staking pools per se, but if you go offline, you are delegating your stake to the protocol, which will in turn earn rewards on your behalf. So whether you're online or offline, there are again ways to earn algos regardless. From Reddit user King Boons, would you comment on listing on exchanges? Algorand needs to be exposed to large sources of liquidity. When is mainnet launch? Immediately after auction. So just to clear up a few things, the first auction will be on June 19th. That will also be the official mainnet launch of the Algorand public network. The auction and the launch are being handled by the Algorand Foundation, and they'll post more information on exchanges and soon. And so expect that around the time of launch, there'll be more information from them on that. So you can just stay tuned and you'll be able to see where listings might come from. From Reddit user CryptoBunny88, rewards are earned by users who have correctly designated their status in the system. This means that algo holders need to delegate to a staking pool, or it means that anybody has wallets. Again, just to reiterate this point, since it seems to be coming up frequently, you either have your algos online, which means you're running a node through a service such as Staked, or you mark your tokens as offline and you delegate them to the protocol, and you will earn rewards by correctly designating them that way. From one of our Kakao users in Korea, how many relay node runners has Algorand secured? And you describe a little bit more about their profile. Well, there's many different relay users. When the network goes live, you'll be able to see all the relays that are up there. But there'll be many at the beginning. Certainly we think certainly over 100 relays being run. In terms of profile, it varies from infrastructure providers to, I think many of you have seen our university partners. There's really from different types of people and all over the world. So really excited about the community that we built. And the Algorand Foundation, I think in particular, will share more. Like the university announcement, I think there'll be more information shared on people who are supporting the network post-launch. From a Reddit user like Peas, why does the foundation hold so much of the circulating supply? This is a good question, for sure. One of the things that Algorand is doing differently than any of the proof-of-stake platforms before it is we are a truly public, permissionless proof-of-stake platform. All the other platforms out there are centralized in some way in that they either selected block proposers or there's certain supernodes that control the network. And so in Algorand, one of the things that's important is that there's enough honest money online, especially in the early days, to prevent many different types of attacks. And as a result, the Algorand Foundation will keep its money online to ensure that proportionally there's enough money, honest money online, that a network attack would be very difficult. From Reddit user Iced Beverage, is this a money grab? I think that's an easy one for us. We are very focused on the long-term benefits of decentralization. We're very focused also on building the network and building our user base and having participants from all over the world. So this is not a short-term focused project at all. Very long-term focused, and really excited about all the people that have joined. I think for anybody, if you go to the Algorand Foundation website, if you look at the algorand.com website, I think you'll see there's a lot of very interesting people who are supporting the project. From Reddit user CryptoBunny88, what other mechanism will you use to stabilize the token price other than having the 5-year auction plan? If you look at several different elements, there is auction, there's the refund policy, there is a variety of different elements that all go into that. The foundation, will be sharing additional sort of economic policy soon and research that they've been doing on that front. So we're interested to see that come out, and we think that you will too. So stay tuned on that. From Reddit user XRP the standard, does Algorand have any auctions for real assets coming up, not just auctions for the algo token? That's a good question. Well, the Algorand Foundation is focused on issuing the algo and running auctions. As far as the community, we have partners such as Asset Block that have new technology that will be listing things like, or will be offering real estate and security offerings and other applications. So stay tuned, and we're going to have several more announcements shortly on different use cases and different types of products that people are launching on top of Algorand. From Reddit user Renee RGN, Refund, is the refund period for the first algo auction before or after the second auction takes place? Will there also be a refund for the second and following auctions? So the answer to this is every auction will have, all the tokens purchased at every auction will carry the refund policy with them. The refund policy, just to be clear for everyone, first of all, is the details are available on algorand.foundation, the foundation's website, but specifically, the refund has a 1-year qualifying period where after a year, there's a 1-week redemption window where people can bring back the right number of tokens, prove their identity and their winning transaction ID, and receive the appropriate refund based on the clearing price of the auction they bid in. But yes, every auction will have the refund associated with it, and that will go on, into the future. From Reddit user XRP the standard, do you have a desktop wallet? Will the Ledger Nano support come quickly? Will we be able to stake our coins in our Ledger, for example? If so, where does the reward? So we have a mobile wallet available on iOS and Android today. We expect to have several other wallets available at or shortly after launch. Those announcements will come soon. Definitely Ledger is one that we've heard requests for many people in the community and are working on support for. Although we don't have anything to announce right now. And in Algorand, staking and holding your money in your wallet are two separate things. I think it's important for everybody to know. Participation, or each wallet that you have, you generate a participation key, and then the participation key is what you use to be online. And so those are separate, and where your money is held does not need to be online. It can be offline and stored securely, even if you're participating in the network. All right, moving on from Reddit user Sue Rob. Can you please compare Algorand's pure proof of stake to other proof of stake schemes, both on-chain and BFT, such as Tendermint, Casanova, Avalanche, and Casper? Where do you see the critical assumptions and advantages? I think really, without getting into kind of details on every single other protocol, I think one of the core innovations in Algorand that's different from other platforms is that each user runs their own cryptographic lottery, and every user can be called on in every block to both propose a block or confirm a block. In that both the block proposer and the committee of users confirming changes every block. So in Algorand, it's very difficult to know who to attack separately because it's a relatively small committee and there aren't complicated computation required around it. It also means that it's very fast and scalable even as the network grows. And as a result, that's what allows us to have, be truly public and permissionless because there are no centralized block proposers in there. Now, other systems have taken sort of different challenges or different ways to approach that challenge, but really the blockchain trilemma is focused around that sort of fundamental problem that it's difficult to do these things in a secure way. From Reddit user Andres Medco, what is the programming language for smart contracts on Algorand? This is something that we haven't announced yet, but I think it would be great to just talk a little bit about. We think that smart contracts are very important, but that a lot of the smart contract languages and platforms have been too focused on computational power versus focused on simpler things. And so we actually believe what folks need is a non-Turing complete smart contract language that allows for simple asset creation, conditional statements, but does so in a way that's tied to layer one, tied to the protocol itself, and gives everyone the safety and security of that, where computation can happen off-chain, but using computational proof so that we can prove that it's done honestly when it comes back on-chain. So that's a quick preview, but something that we'll be sharing more of post-launch and is definitely on our roadmap. From Reddit user Maverick Chow, how will Algorand respond to deliberate partitioning, i.e. with a major stakeholder trying to deliberately shut down the network? Again, I answered that a little bit earlier. One of the reasons that the Algorand Foundation will be keeping money online, especially early on, is to ensure that can't happen. Over time, as there's more and more users in the system, the ability for any one person to accumulate enough of the circulating supply to meaningfully be able to partition the network starts to reduce. But for sure, early days, definitely there are attacks that are more likely, and we've tried to architect the system in a way to help prevent against that. A few live questions here from YouTube viewer Benson. How will the USD be custodied, and how can people assure the refund program will take place? That is a really good question. So a couple of different things. One is the Algorand Foundation has committed to keep all the funds that are subject to the refund policy in segregated accounts. Those accounts will be audited, and there'll be periodic attestations as to the balance kept online. So people will be able to see publicly what the balances are, and they'll be audited, and all the money will be kept separately. So it's definitely something that's been thought of and worked on. And separately from YouTube viewer Shinobi Squad, is Algorand a stablecoin? As Silvio said, there will be a stabilizing mechanism to stabilize price over time. So from a stability standpoint, no, Algorand is not a stablecoin. We do think that over time, there's a need for economic management of any platform, and that's something that I think Silvio was referring to. And we'll definitely have more information available post-launch on kind of future thoughts around economics and economic research that especially the Algorand Foundation has been doing. From YouTube viewer Mason, what does the Algorand roadmap look like? Well, the Algorand roadmap is actually recently published. If you go to algorand.foundation or you look at one of Silvio's blogs, there's a series of technologies. One of the things definitely that we're committed to is not only having the Algorand protocol come out on day one, but separately making sure that there's a continual innovation and that we're constantly adding new functionality and improving on the software that's been written today. An example of that is Vault. Vault is the first peer-reviewed, at least that we know of, like client protocol, which also allows for consistent performance permanently within Algorand. And so, I'd encourage anyone to go look at Vault and Pixel, atomic swaps. There's a series of we think really interesting tech that will come in shortly after launch and being worked on now. From YouTube viewer Benson, comments on the circulating supply at launch and auction range. So the circulating supply is just based on the tokens that will be online or eligible to be online. Again, we just would like to refer anyone to the Foundation's Token Dynamics page, where they have details on how that's going to work, along with sort of how tokens are going to be injected into circulation. Any news on exchange listing, please, from YouTube viewer Kumar Gaurav. Hi again, Kumar. Does Android Wallet point to the testnet now, and would it be changed to mainnet? So the Android Wallet, I believe right now, does point to the testnet. When the mainnet comes online, we will send instructions for people who are already using it on how to switch that over. Post mainnet launch, the updated applications will point directly at the mainnet. Did you have a?
Are there other ways that participate beyond just the auction was the question?
Yeah, for sure. So I think just kind of a couple of other, we have one, our primary goal has been around development. And while there's obviously a lot of questions about the auctions and particular technical details, we want to make sure that everybody really understands that we're focused on simplicity for developers. We want to encourage anybody who are building new applications and blockchain applications to be able to learn how to use the tech without having to get into it too deeply. So we'd suggest that anybody go to developer.algorand.org and look at those tools. And there's community ambassadors throughout the world. So certainly anywhere, any region anyone has that can help get in touch with the developer relations and the community folks on the Algorand side. So just want to remind everyone, definitely, one of our primary goals here around launch is getting people excited about the platform and getting applications, on top of the platform and seeing how people use the technology. And actively want to see feedback on how the technology can be improved, what functionality people need. And so, that's one of the kind of real focal points here is want everyone to think about that and make sure that they're getting us that feedback out of the community. From YouTube viewer 111QQQ, why is Silvio holding up a giant shell in the borderless economy video? So it was how his dad used to call them all when they were kids in Italy. They would stand outside their house and blow the shell. That's how they knew to come home. So I think that's a kind of a fun story. Let's see. Team tokens are unlimited from YouTube viewer Winbit. Again, I suggest that you go to the Algorand Foundation page on Token Dynamics. There's a statement there from the Algorand Foundation on how they expect to use their tokens. There's also other statements from other Algorand community members to the same. So again, to ask people to go and refer to what's already been written there. From YouTube viewer Cuckoo, need to know what exchange will be available. Important to be able to know before the auction. There will be more information posted on exchanges and additional information on wallets that will be supported as well, coming out from the Algorand Foundation in the coming days. So just stay tuned and there'll be more info. And I think that's it. Thanks everybody for joining us today, and really appreciate everybody's support as we lead up to launch. Look forward to sharing more soon. Take care.